Helping Hands Resources doors open at 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday and on Saturday, receiving shoppers. It closes at noon when volunteers arrive from the nearby warehouse to replenish shelves and hangers with more donated items. Everything is free to any individual in need. Helping Hands is an all-volunteer organization operating solely on community donations and grants. A handmade quilt on the wall shares its vision, providing compassion, creating community, sharing hope and abundance. It all began almost 60 years ago when a local teacher saw something about her students.
Well, Helping Hands Resources started in 1967. Our founder, June Hughes, was a teacher and noticed that a lot of her students would wear the same clothes or maybe wear dirty clothes, so she started a clothing closet, and her neighbors started helping her collect. Then eventually she had her garage filled with the little version of our Helping Hands here, and then it moved to a library, and then her church, and then she ended up using her own house, moving, and then this is a new building since 2010, debt-free, and the community helped, make it happen.
Is this a popular place?
Oh yes, we normally have a line out to the street, people waiting to come in.
How does it work?
Well, when people are brand new, they've never been here before, we ask them for ID, something with their name on it. And we don't turn anybody away, but we do need their name so we can put it in the computer. Then when they want to shop, they come with their card. They're allowed to come once every 7 days. We give them a bag that they can fill with whatever they like. Everything is free. And they can carry out one thing that won't fit in the bag, maybe a coat or a blanket or a appliance, a little appliance. The dishes that are behind me, we have a program called Restart, where people who are transitioning from living on the street to their first apartment and they don't have dishes, they don't have pots and pans, they don't have bedding. We have a list, a checklist, and people work with a sponsor and they go down the list. Yes, there are 4 people in the family. We need 4 plates, 4 cups, and we go off the checklist, and then their sponsor will come pick up the items and take it to them for their first apartment, and cleaning supplies, anything you need in an apartment that they wouldn't have accumulated.
What is it that makes it work so well?
A couple of things, key things. We have a very generous community that drops off donations every single day that we're open. We're open 5 days a week. And to support that, we have over 100 dedicated, dependable volunteers like I've never seen in other organization. We're all volunteer. Nobody gets paid, no stipend, and it is amazing week after week. Some of our volunteers are literally here 7 days a week. They love what they do, and it's so rewarding. You don't have a bad day.
The staff are welcoming. You come through that door and you're not treated like a number. You're not treated like a monthly visit. You're not treated like a client. You're treated like a customer, and it's such a dignified experience.
You must see things that are moving, are very special memories.
Mm-hmm. People come in sometimes when I'm at the desk checking people in. I'll say, "Oh, hi, how are you? That's a beautiful blouse you're wearing." And they'll say, "Oh, I got it here." And they're so happy and so thankful and so grateful. We have one man from the homeless population who comes in and shops, and then he will ask for a broom, and he will go sweep out front or sweep out back. That's his way of giving back. So makes him feel good, makes us feel good. I worked here maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and had to quit. I was working full time, had to quit to take care of my parents. I have since retired. My parents have passed, and so I always loved it before, so here I am.
You just got a grant recently that helps little children with reading.
Yes. The Early Learning Hub was wonderful. $2,500 towards any books or activity sets we could choose. And what we ended up getting, which we, as far as I know in our history, have never gotten brand new books. And not only are they new, they're English and Spanish in one book. So providing an opportunity for someone to write their name in a book and to be the only name on it. Because we put books out, we have, previously loved things, but there's just something about being able to give brand new. So we're really excited.
How many do you have?
Oh, so it was for $2,500, and so it ended up giving us 1,000 books. Yeah, the opportunity to pick and choose, and yeah, it was pretty remarkable. Yeah, we're excited.
Has this place had something very personal for you that means a lot? Helping Hands?
You know, that's a great question. It does, and that's what I like about meeting new volunteers. I'm always curious what brought them here, what their why is, and for me, back in the 90s, my sister had mental health issues and addiction issues. And so she needed a resource like this. We didn't know about this place, but we had our own little kind of helping hands in our garages for like friends and, you know, people that she connected with that helped keep her, you know, sustain her. And so when I heard about this place and I learned that 22% of who we serve is experiencing homelessness, I loved it. No one is turned away, no eligibility, and everyone is treated with dignity and welcomed, treated respectfully. And our volunteers, like today, actually it was yesterday, I heard 2 different people tell our volunteers, "I love you," and so that's all I need.
And you want to see people realize the dream of actually being able to support and sustain themselves.
Exactly. And watching people go from, you know, our client or our guest and to where they're, you know, able to volunteer because they no longer need our services. That is beautiful. And watching like Lucy, for example, you know, be our client, and now she is a fierce advocate and a force. And because of the work we do, sometimes I call on her because I have someone that I know needs the extra resources, and she knows exactly. She comes from a place of knowing, and has a beautiful spirit, and she helps me wade through the processes. Because I always say, after all, I'm just a volunteer, but you know, we've all kind of in our own way become experts in our field.
You had dreams for your own life, and then something happened.
Right. So I did. I had big dreams. I was determined to become a lawyer, and a public defender, if you will. And life happened. My partner passed unexpectedly, and I was in the midst of being a homemaker. And so I was left with the house, the kids, the cars, and no income. And things just, the domino effect, one thing after another. So.
What happened to you?
So alcohol, drugs, violence, and then things started slipping away. First were the cars, and then was the house, and then the kids, and it was just a real long fall to rock bottom.
Tell us, how many children do you have?
I have 5 kids.
And at your worst, did you have any of them with you?
No. At my worst, I was active in my addiction. I was homeless, on probation, and my kids were in the care of child welfare.
At that point, things looked pretty bleak for you. What happened to change anything at all, to give you hope that maybe there was a way forward?
I was tired. Waking up to that life every single day is exhausting, and I found there's no joy. It was overwhelming, and although connecting with my kids was everything to me, it was extremely painful. The disappointment day after day, visit after visit. I couldn't get them home quick enough, but I didn't have the resources to do that.
When did you realize that that's the big divide in getting yourself in a better position, is resources? What did you find was the real problem with your getting back on your feet?
Well, the big problem was getting sober. And when you're in survival mode, unsheltered, couch surfing, running from shame, running from everything you're scared of, getting sober is nearly impossible. So I did that. I had to do something different to produce different results. And so I sought refuge at a local homeless shelter. I fought my pride and my ego. There's very little left of either one of the two, but I put those on the back burner and asked for a bed. And for the first time in my life, I spent the night at a homeless shelter where accountability, responsibility, and transparency were all a must. And then I'd like to think that once I got sober, I became unstoppable. I was able to identify what I needed, what was best for me, what my family needed, what lacked in terms of tools, resources, and advocacy. And that's where it started. I knew what I needed. I needed stability. I needed a home, and I needed accountability, accountable to my sobriety. And so we worked, and we worked. And once I secured all of that, I needed a job. Because I can't really tell you how restricted it feels to live off of TANF. It was very, very embarrassing for it to be a lot of no's to my kids. No vacation, not this time. I can't buy one a new bike. I have 3, and I couldn't really afford that either. So I started looking for a job, and I needed a second chance employer for obvious reasons. And so I put in applications anywhere I could, and it was Community Action that called me back. Called me back for an interview. I was sober, and so I put on some weight. So I was really struggling to find an interview outfit. And I did tap into a couple of resources that I knew were available, but none were really accessible until I came across the Helping Hands resource. And it took some time and a bus ticket, and I made my way down here. I found some stretchy black slacks that I still have to this day. Put together an interview outfit, and I rocked that interview. And here we are 5.5 years later, and I am still wearing that name badge and providing for my family, clean and sober, active parenting, and just really thriving. And now I get to, in turn, connect my clients and my community members to this resource that is accessible. There's such a difference. I used to think that just because a resource was available made it accessible, and my experience with Helping Hands has really changed that narrative.
Can you give us some examples? Just how accessible they are.
You show up, and they serve you, they support you. I have case managers on my teams that are able to connect via referral form and share some needs, and were contacted for a pickup date. It is a true-to-life resource that doesn't require jumping through hoops, emailing, intake forms, repeating your traumatic story, rehashing any of your history. It is about how can we help you and when can we help you.
Because of Helping Hands resources, you're passionate about advocating for those who are in the situation you were before.
100%. It'll make or break a person. I think back and I play that what if tape. What if I didn't have what I considered a decent interview outfit or access to something that I would feel comfortable interviewing in? I could have very well blew off that opportunity and still be on that dark path. So being able to have a dignified alternative it's changed my life.
What has it meant for your children?
So my children, they are marked by everything we've went through, but I've done my part in creating humans that acknowledge the trauma and help reshape what it looks like for someone else. My 19-year-old is an employee of the Nest, the first family shelter here in Salem. And she is resourceful, and she is compassionate, empathetic. I've really just taken it upon myself to create humans that will make this world a softer place.
You have work clothes behind you and boots.
Yes, yes. And so as we're collecting donations, sometimes we get things that are almost brand new, good for landscapers or, mechanics, lawn maintenance, car wash folks, restaurant folks, even scrubs, flagger gear. And so we set those aside, bring them up here. And then we have a program called Workwear. And so folks that are getting into a new job or transitioning to a different kind of job, we can provide their uniform that's required or their shoes. And if we don't have it, we do have a small budget, thanks to community donations, where we can go and buy them the shoes that fit. And people, when they come in for new stuff, we're so happy. We never turn them away. We figure it out. We get them clothed.
Lucy said, I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't have been for some clothing that I could wear to a interview. Mm-hmm. I might have passed on the interview.
Right.
So tell us how important this is to people who want to get established in a new life, and that job is so important.
Exactly. And that's a program we call Clothes at Work. And so if, people, things are more casual these days, so we don't keep a bunch of suits and things like we used to up here, but we take from our floor because we have thousands of donations. And so if a person wants a certain kind of pants, jacket, it's pretty cute because even if they don't have the right shoes, we don't stop until we find them shoes. And even once in a while, we'll have someone that wants a handbag. And I remember a guy a couple years ago, and he wanted a briefcase. And we asked, "Oh, what kind of job?" And he's like, "Well, I just want to walk in with the briefcase. I'll feel better about myself." And it was so cute, and it was crazy. We went through our stuff, and we're like, "We just got a briefcase today." We hardly ever got stuff like that, but the need is there, and whenever we're challenged, and we're able to meet the challenge. No one goes away without us doing our due diligence to try to help them.
That help is often found in the nearby warehouse where volunteers work with donated goods.
And everything has a little marking, and one of our volunteers created these little laundry basket type things, and they are so fast when they sort through it. And then over here, then they put, if it's shirts or women's plus pants or whatever it is. So at the shop, we say, "Oh, we're out of, dresses," or whatever it is. They just come right over and pop it in the bag, and we can restock. It's pretty amazing.
But space is limited and need is increasing. The number of guests served has tripled in the past 2 years.
On 2022, we had 8,656 check-ins, and that's only the person with the card. So if they have their family, that's double, triple, maybe quadruple that number. But anyway, at the end of the year, 8,656 check-ins. Last year, 20,509. So probably closer to 60,000. And so in this little space, 5 days a week with all volunteers, we are serving the community. And that doesn't even count all of the different agencies, over 30 that come to us for help and connection. We're always doing drop-offs, pickups. We help collect things for the shower trucks. There's 2 on Lancaster, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. And they're always looking for sweats and socks and things that we get in donations in abundance. And so we have a weekly pickup. And then when we need them, like I've had to have them help me with pickups, here they come with literally their pickup trucks and load them up and bring them to us, or they go and pre-sort, give us the kids' clothes. And it's just really amazing, that connection with our other community partners. And I always say that is my favorite part, to see what a force we are when we work together.
Thanks to nearly $1 million in state funding, Helping Hands resources will be able to expand, but more money is needed.
We are doing a capital campaign right now. We're ready to launch because we did get some funding from the Capital Construction Fund from the legislature, and we've been renting the warehouse next door, at least half of it, and since 2019, because we needed it for our growth, and we had the opportunity to sell it at a great discount. The owner is a great supporter of ours, and so we got the funding, and so we just have to bridge the gap. We have to earn a little bit more, and we can purchase it, remodel it, and the ladies will have, and men that work there will have heat and cooling, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. And we're going to add to the front, and we'll be able to connect our stores and or the shop, and so that will more than double our retail space where people come every day, and so that'll be amazing and make us way more sustainable and make it so much easier for the volunteers, because it's a pretty tight fit sometimes when we're open and trying to help everyone and restock and make sure everybody gets a chance at getting what they need for the day.
What would you like to see happen with Helping Hands Resources, their dream?
I'd like to see them grow as big as they can dream. They reach so far and they reach so many families. I cannot speak highly enough of the effort behind this cause. They just go above and beyond, and they really are just a golden resource in our community.
Learn more about Helping Hands Resources programs, volunteer opportunities, and donating at helpinghandssalem.org. Thanks for joining us today on InSight OnSite. I'm Wendy Brokaw.